It was okay. So through no fault of his own, and through her poor decision making, she was trying to ruin the time of this man's maybe only chance to see live football all year. Now, in that instance, he might be sitting there thinking, I know she's fine. She's just drunk, as she always is. Allegedly, I'm not saying I don't know this girl's name or anything, so I don't know anything. But hypothetically, he could be sitting there just being like, typical Tampa housewife. Always just sloshed 3 sheets to the wind. And now her drunk ass is going to ruin my only chance to watch my beloved Bucks in live football action? I have the car keys. I know what hospital they're going to take her to. Paramedics, please. Take her. Make sure she gets hydrated. Make sure she wakes up. She'll be fine. Give her some Pedialyte there in the emergency room. Send me the bill. Whatever. But my ass is sitting here with my one cold beer, not like that fucking drunk. And I'm going to sit here and watch my beloved Buccaneers and their backups go to work. Again, don't condone.
Yeah.
But I can understand the thought process.
Are you ready to rep your team like never before? Then it's time to gear up at the Stay Tuned Sports Merch store, where we have everything you need to flex your fanhood in style. Throw it back with our exclusive 8-bit NFL helmet tees. Pixelated perfection for the old school football fanatic. Need something cozy for kickoff? Our Stay Tuned hoodies are built for bold fans and chilly Sundays. Decorate your den with championship banners that scream victory, because legends deserve a wall of fame. And for those early morning hot takes, grab a Stay Tuned coffee mug, or better yet, brew up a cup of our very own Stay Tuned coffee. Smooth, strong, and made for those perfect football Sunday mornings. So whether you're tailgating, couch coaching, or just vibing with your crew, we've got the gear to keep you tuned in. Head to bit.ly/StayTunedMerch right now and level up your fan game. Stay loud, stay proud, stay tuned.
Ryan Day bitched, cried, and moaned. Got Ohio State and Big Ten to go complain to Fox, and now Fox and the Big Ten are trying to find a way to spin this and say, oh no, see, guys, no, it wouldn't be Ohio State, our biggest member, one of our biggest members, and a defending national champion, and one of the programs that bring in the most money for the conference and the network and stuff like that. No, it's not them. We just decided that we were going to make sure and not have the most important guy that we just hired for tens of millions of dollars and his sports company to try to save our cable company. That we're going to make sure he's not on for the last hour because, we don't want ratings, really. We just want to spend millions upon tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars and just waste it all and not have any return on ratings whatsoever. You're expecting me to believe that.
Yeah.
That's what that's what Fox Sports and Ohio State are telling me I should believe. No, I'm not fucking stupid. 4th and 1 for the Eagles. Are they going to go for it? They kick in the field. Jalen Hurts is going back on the field. 4th and 1.
Guess he didn't learn his mistake.
Dude, if they don't make this, the Philadelphia will explode. We will hear the shockwaves from where you are. We're only about we're both 90 miles away from Philadelphia. Yeah. We'll hear the shockwave. It'll be nuclear. Do they stop it?
That's
they
a
stop
long
it?
Yard.
And they do the fake like you wanted to do, Halo, and he doesn't get it. He does not get it. And they leave 3 points on the board when they could have tied it. And it is a turnover on them. Oh my God.
Fucking fire him.
Well, as you can see, I am all by my lonesome here on this September 3rd. Ladies and gentlemen, it's football leave. Let's all just get ready. Let's take a moment. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Everybody to Stay Tuned Sports. I'm your boy King. Your good friend Jimbo is not here. Unfortunately, he had some prior engagements, obligations, things of that nature. Kind of something like I had on Monday, because that's why we ended up missing the Countdown show, and while we're kind of merging the Countdown with this show, we were hoping we were able to get everything done with this show. Schedules be what they are. What are you going to do? But, you know, it... Part for the course for us. It's football season when I miss a show and then Jimbo misses a show. It's Stay Tuned Sports tradition. But here we are. We are at football leave, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the rest of this show, please, if you like what you're watching, if you like us at all, if you like me and my beautiful, handsome face and balding head, please give us a like, a share, a subscribe, all that right down there. Helps us out tremendously with the algorithm, helps us get those subscriber numbers up. If we get those up, eventually at some point YouTube will allow us to make money. Maybe. It depends. Usually I say some dumb shit and then they will probably demonetize us. But let's get to that level first and then we'll worry about the demonetization later. Also, if you want to help us out even further, top of the chat, if you want to come in there, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store. Brand new merch going in there all the time. We have the 8-bit helmets. You saw the commercial kind of in the live stream countdown, but we have 8-bit shirts. We have various team alternate logo shirts that I do, like Jersey Jets, Jersey Giants, things like that. Got a Jackson Dart one in there now. Got a Bengals Sell the Team shirt. All that stuff. We have coffee. We have mugs. We even have coffee. It's amazing. All that kind of stuff there. Go check out the merch store. Link is there in the top of the chat and in the description below. Same for the donation station. Also, go vote for my nephew to be the Youth Athlete of the Year. Those links also in the top of the chat and in the description below. And, of course, our Discord links are in both of those places as well. Come join us on the Discord. It's fun there. You'll like it. You'll love it. It's actually getting a little bit more active in there. We have our good friend Hamster, who's in the chat right now. ELS, Lloyd, Chip. I got to get Chip in there. We got a lot of people in there. Come on in. Say hi. Say hello. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I believe you'll like it. Also, hey, while I'm saying this, and it is football leave, as we said at the beginning, tomorrow is the first day of NFL football. Come join us on the Friday Forecast Pick'em. We have myself, Jimbo, a couple more people here from the STS community. If you want to join us, try to beat the shit out of us, because that's pretty easy to do. Me and Jimbo, not the best. Not the best when it comes to picking. Who would have figured? Two drunk idiots who are friends because they met at a bar. Not that great at football prognostication, but you can prove yourself to be better than us and everybody else in our community. Go join up right now. bit.ly/STSPick'em. That's bit.ly/STSPick'em, or just use that QR code there you see on your screen and join up and kick our ass. That'll be fun. I think that'll be great. Anyway. How's everybody doing on this wonderful, beautiful football leave? As we mentioned before, tomorrow, Cowboys, Eagles, kicking it all off. Boy, this game looks like it's going to be a little bit different than when we first heard about it, especially with, listen, I kind of thought, I think we all thought, Cowboys didn't have much of a shot in this game anyway. That's what I'm just putting it out anyway. I was kind of that thought process. Obviously, Jimbo was, being the Eagles fan that he is. But even a lot of Cowboys fans I know, like, even if you're hoping, even if you're like, sure. Like, it wasn't great prospects for the Cowboys to go into Philadelphia and win tomorrow night. Then, of course, we know last week Actually, just last Friday. Last Thursday. We were doing the Friday forecast live because we had things to do, unfortunately, life schedule, as we talked about. Live while we're doing this. Micah Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers. So now the Cowboys without Micah Parsons. They do have Kenny Clark there to clog. Again, Kenny Clark is a good player. And I feel like that kind of got lost in the trade, is that because a lot of people are saying, who's Kenny Clark? Who's Kenny Clark? It's like, he's a fucking Pro Bowl defensive tackle. Let's relax. Is he of the same level or caliber as Micah Parsons? That's where I think you're going to get the argument. Where a lot of people are going to say not really, but we'll see. But does that help the Cowboys defeat the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow? I'll be making my picks, and I will also let everybody know Jimbo's pick for tomorrow night. I mean, the Eagles fan. Who do you think he's going to pick? But we will wait until the end of the show, as we always do, to do our pick for Thursday Night Football. And this one will be, of course, the kickoff. Hamster in the chat. He says he's got the Cowboys plus 8.5. It's going to be closer than y'all think. Oh, Hamster on the spread, saying he's going to take the Cowboys there. You think the Cowboys can keep it within? At that case, I think they'd have to keep it within a touchdown. So if it, I don't know. And also, I'm not sure. Pecan in the chat. Pecan, of course, he's in the ticker. He's still there. We're about a full year on where Pecan is in the ticker to go ahead and be our number one donator, which, of course, if you want to beat Pecan and get in the ticker, donate more than $35 to the donation station link in the top of the chat or in the description below this video, and your name will go in the ticker. But for right now, the famous Pecan in the chat, and he lets us know he's lowering his Saints prediction from 7 wins to 4 wins. Pecan, I don't know if you saw the episode where we did the NFC South predictions. I predicted the Saints to have no wins, and I never do that. Like I said, it's like that's like predicting a team to go undefeated. Like, you don't do that. But boy, it's hard to find a place on that schedule where the Saints get a win. It really is. They're probably gonna stumble into a win or two at some point in the season, as most NFL teams do. But boy, does it seem really. I don't know. I don't know when it comes to the Saints, man. Hamster says the Saints going to win this weekend, Pecan, because of all the Katrina stuff. Is the 20th anniversary since Katrina, fucking beat the shit out of New Orleans. So Hamster thinks there might be a little extra motivation there for the New Orleans Saints, and that's fine. I think that a lot of motivation and emotions can do a lot of things. It can make up for some lack of talent here or there. Sometimes we have extra motivation. I don't know if it's going to make up for that much. But this is my first pumpkin coffee of the season, by the way. So we got the pumpkin coffee. We got football tomorrow. The weather's kind of chilled out a little bit here in the Northeast. Oh my God, I'm so ready. We got Pecan in the chat. That's how you know, baby. It's fall. And football season is here, and we're ready. So, as the title of this episode was saying, as my headphones are just being really annoying right now. I gotta get new headphones. All right, let me do that. Okay, so as the thumbnail said, I'm gonna do a little bit of a combination here. We've been doing a countdown for the last 12 weeks here on Stay Tuned Sports. Let you know who we've had, me and Jimbo, as our top 12 NFL Power Rank teams going into the season. Now, again, starting this 12 weeks ago, I think some things, like if we had to do it over again, we probably would. I know I definitely would with some of the things. But, well, let's just go take a look at it. Let's jump on over to the vertical display. There we are. And adjust it a little bit because Jimbo's not here. But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what we have. First of all, I do want to jump in on something real quick, though, because not only were we supposed to do, reveal the number one pick for that, also, Booty Cheeks 5. People forget about that. We also need to embrace the teams who we think are really ass. So, because of that, let's take a look first over at our Booty Cheeks 5. I'm going to bring that down. There we go. As you can see, we've done the previous 4. I have the Jets at the 29th worst team in the NFL, or 29th best team, or 28th, sorry, as you would go by, whatever it is. But I have the Jets at 28. I have the Raiders at 29, which I might adjust now. I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be a little bit better than where I have them there. Again, this was done 12 weeks ago. I think they'll be better. I think they'll be better than where I have them there. So that's probably going to be something adjusted, especially if they go into New England and win this week, which I think they can. So as I'm looking more and more at this, I'm like, see, those are some things where as the offseason and training camp and the preseason's gone on, it's like, maybe. I don't know. But I do have there the Raiders at 29. I have the Titans at 30. I still feel fairly comfortable with that. Unless Cam Ward really shows that he's like this season's Jaden Daniels and C.J. Stroud and on and on and on. I feel that's a good spot for the Titans, and we'll see. Again, we're all going to see, but that's why I have them. The Browns at 31. Again, I still feel fairly comfortable with this. Even with it's just I think that Flacco magic from 2 years ago was spent 2 years ago. Again, that's a long time ago already. Browns got a decent defense, of course. Defense is good, but if your offense doesn't do anything, we're going to find out this week. They faced the notoriously slow starting Bengals, and we'll see how that goes. But that's it. I have the Bengals there at 31, and we'll find out soon who I have at 32. For Jimbo, he has the Titans as his 28th team, the Jets as his 29th. The New Orleans Saints, who Pecan was just in here talking about, reducing their win total from 7 to 4. Jimbo has them at number 30 and has the Browns at 31. So now the question is, who do do Jimbo and I, sorry. You got to use proper English, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we have as the worst team going into the NFL season? I have the New Orleans Saints, clearly, as you can see, as we just talked about. As I said, the Saints, I actually predicted them to not win a game, which is absurd. And I agree with that. It is an absurd thing to do, but I kind of man, it is hard to find a win in that schedule. It really is. Jimbo has the Jaguars, which is, listen, I don't buy into the Jaguars. I'm not. Trevor Lawrence is Daniel Jones with longer hair, and blonder hair, I suppose. Like Trevor Lawrence is honestly, look at the stats, look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Not that great. I can't buy into the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to be any good. However, do I think the Jaguars are the worst team in the league, let alone in a Booty Cheeks 5? I do not have the Jaguars in my Booty Cheeks 5. Jimbo has the Jaguars as the dead last team in the NFL. Interesting take. Listen, he might be prophetic with this. This might be something where we all are saying like, oh, man, yeah, the Jaguars. Yeah, the Jaguars. And then the Jaguars turn out to be ass. That could absolutely be. I just don't think that's the case right now. If we're being honest, I just don't see the Jaguars being the worst team in the NFL. Again, I if anything, if you said, King, you got to go ahead. You got to replace one of those teams on your Booty Cheeks and put the Jaguars in there. Probably the Raiders. I would move the Raiders out to put the Jaguars there. But even then, I think I'd move the Jets down then to 29 and put the Jaguars at 20. The Jaguars may not be good, but I don't think they're Booty Cheeks. But we can see. We'll see. As far as me and the Saints, I think I mentioned this, again, for the last couple weeks when we did the NFC South. We've done the Booty Cheeks going up and down here. When Jimbo had them at his 30 spot, I was saying, that seems a little high for me for the Saints. And to still, it still seems high for me. The Saints, unfortunately, for Pecan, for other people out there, for any of the Saints fans or anybody who roots for the Saints, it's not going to be a good one. It's not going to be a good season. This is a season where I think you're going to find out. I think there's a feel-out season with Kellen Moore to see, what do we have? What can we salvage, if anything? Do we have any pieces on this team that are worth anything? And work on, salary cap things and contracts and moving other pieces out. I think right now this is just a cobbled together team that is like, let's just get through this season. Let's just get through it, and then we'll get out to the other side, and we'll try to be better. But yeah, so there you go. The full 2025 preseason Booty Cheeks 5 for me and Jimbo. At 28, Jimbo has the Titans. I have the Jets. At 29, Jimbo has the Jets. I have the Raiders. At 30, Jimbo has the Saints. I have the Titans. At 31, we both have the Cleveland Browns. And at 32, Jimbo has the Jaguars, while I have the New Orleans Saints. All right, so now the Booty Cheeks have been slapped sufficiently. Let's go take a look at the other end, the positive end of this Eiffel Tower of football that we're doing here. Of course, the power rankings, the top 12 here. As we bring this down, the NFL top 12 power rankings for the 2025 season going in. This is the last one for the preseason because that's it. After today, tomorrow, it's regular season time, baby. It's regular season time. So who do we have? And again, this is a case where I said, making this list 12 weeks ago, there's probably a couple things I would move on this list, but for now, we're sticking with it. We're going to stick with it. But like again, I would probably move the Packers up a spot or two or several, just by having Micah Parsons. Just by having Micah Parsons, I would move them up. But yes, me and Jimbo have the Packers at 12. I don't know if he would move his up or not. I would consider it. I would. That would be very much a consideration for me. But we both have the Packers at 12. I myself have the Chargers at 11. Again, I think they're good. I think they can be a surprise team this year. I feel that they're the third best team in the AFC West, but they can surprise a couple people. I feel the Broncos are just a little step above where the Chargers are right now, especially with that defense. As you can see, I have the Broncos further up on my list there. But I have the Chargers at 11. Redskins at 10. I think they take maybe a little step back this year. Probably not a big one, but again, just going into the season, I think again, this isn't for the overall season. This is just going into the season, how I see it. And again, we'll see what happens after this week, and we do next week's power rankings, the first one of the regular season. So Redskins at 10, Vikings at 9. I have the Rams at 8, Broncos, as I mentioned, with that defense, and Bo Nix with Sean Payton as his coach. Did very good at the end of last year, got them into the playoffs, and like I said, they had a lead in Buffalo for a little tiny bit. They did a little tiny bit. So I think they're going to make bigger steps, grow this year. Broncos at 7. Buccaneers, who 1,000%, and I was just talking with my father about this earlier today, I really do see the Buccaneers as a legitimate NFC threat. They, to me, feel like they're a team that can, if they put everything together and stay relatively injury-free, boy, it's hard to count them out for an NFC Championship game appearance, if not further. I'm high. I am high on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. The Buffalo Bills I have at number 5. That's another one I might have changed as we've gone later on here. I might have maybe moved them up a little bit. But still, Bills, top 5 team for me. I think that's fine. Bills at 5. Chiefs at 4. Another one where I feel comfortable where the Chiefs are right there at 4. I think they're still obviously maybe one of the biggest threats in the AFC. And until I see otherwise, they're a top 5 team. Ravens at 3. Again, I feel they're one of the teams that is maybe great on paper, maybe the best team in the NFL on paper right now. By the way, Hamster in the chat says he agrees that I'm high for liking the Buccaneers. I said I was high on the Buccaneers. He's, yeah, you are. All right. Well, fuck you, Hamster. Him being the Falcons fan, I get it. But yes, again, I think the Ravens are seriously one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL on paper. Can they come up in the clutch? Can they play a clutch game? Can they win? Now, again, early on in the season, we're gonna find out early on. They're traveling to Buffalo. They're playing Sunday Night Football. Are they going to be able to do that? We're going to find out that. But for me with the Ravens, it's more about late season and playoffs. Can they win close games? Can they win clutch games when it comes down to it, when it's in the nitty-gritty, as they say? Are they going to be able to go ahead and do that? I have them at 3. I have the Lions at 2. And this is another thing. I might have moved the Ravens up to 2 and had the Lions at 3 or Jeff. The reason I have the Lions at 3, and I know a lot of people have the Lions a lot farther down this year because they've lost both their coordinators, and it seems like, oh, this is maybe the Magic's gone. Maybe the Magic's gone in Detroit. I think that team is set up and has the personality of Dan Campbell, and Dan Campbell has changed the culture so much in Detroit that I honestly do believe that the Lions are going to persevere. And listen, they were picking up people off the street last year to play linebacker because they had so many goddamn injuries, and they still went, what was it, 15-2? They still had the number 1 seed. Yes, they lost to Washington in the playoffs. We all know that again because they were still working with a mash unit. But the fact that they even were able to get the number 1 seed, that they were in the play, not only were they in the playoffs, but they had to buy in the number 1 seed. Is an incredible testament to that team and their grit, which is, again, on Dan Campbell's hat, all over the building. It was grit, 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 grit. That team is the definition of grit. And to me, it feels like no matter who the coordinator is, no matter what players they have on the team at this point, it feels like that team is going to be in every game, give 110 million% every game. You're going to get the best from the Detroit Lions every game, and I feel like that's why they are still a very dangerous team and maybe the most dangerous team in the NFC. Jimbo, as we see, he also, as we mentioned, had the Packers at 12, Vikings at 11, he had the Rams at 10, the Chargers at 9. He's got the Redskins all the way up at 8, the Buccaneers at 7. He's got the Broncos slightly ahead of them at 6. Again, a lot of people are very high on the Broncos. The Lions, who is my number 2 team, he has at 5. We both, again, had the Chiefs at 4. Both had the Ravens at 3. He's got the Bills as his number 2 NFL team, which just leaves who's number 1 going into the 2025 season, according to Jimbo and myself. And I don't think it's a mystery, folks. And you don't understand how hard this is for me. Being a Giants fan, as you can see my hat right there, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put the Eagles as the number 1 team in the power rankings going into the season. But how do you not? I don't think the Eagles have gotten significantly worse in the offseason. Yeah, some defensive pieces have gone here, there, around, maybe. But the core of that team, you still got the exciting whites there in the defensive backfield. You still got Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl MVP. You still got Saquon Barkley, who is Saquon Barkley, an offensive line that is considered one of, if not the best offensive line in the league. You got A.J. Brown on one side. You got Devontae Smith on the other side. Wide receivers. I mean, you have it's impossible to put any other team other than the Eagles here in a top spot. And honestly, unless the Cowboys pull off a massive upset on Thursday night, tomorrow night, which I don't think is going to happen, but I'm just saying. We'll get to that later. We'll get to the picks. I don't see how you could put any other team as your number 1 other than the Eagles. And anybody who does, like, if they have a legitimate reason not to, I'd love to hear it. I really would, but I can't see putting any other team at number 1 right now except for the goddamn disgusting fucking piece of shit Eagles. And I know if Jimbo was here, he'd be singing "Fly, Eagles, Fly" and all that nonsense and blah, blah, blah. Good thing he's not, so I don't have to hear that nonsense. But there's not a better team right now in the NFL until somebody proves it. And as Ric Flair always said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And last year, the Eagles beat the man, which was the Chiefs. Because let's face facts, if the Chiefs had won last year and been a three-peat Super Bowl champion, they'd probably be number 1 on this list as we're speaking. Hamster in the chat says the Eagles just got hot those last 2 games and the Chiefs weren't that good. Chiefs were 15-2. And that last game they lost, they started all their scrubs. So to sit there and say the Chiefs weren't that good, On the eyeball test, did it seem like they were as dominant as they had in the past? No, but they were 15-2. I don't know too many 15-2 teams that are not that good. And they made it to the Super Bowl by beating the Bills, by beating who else did they beat? They beat what was it, Houston? And not Miami. Miami was the year before. Because Miami didn't make the playoffs last year. So Hamster says the Chiefs got a lot of help all year. Are you going to stop pushing the ref nonsense? Stop it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mine and Jimbo's power rankings going into the 20-25. Yeah, I know they played the Texans, Hamster. Yeah, I know. In that one, I forget in the wild card round who they played. I don't know why I can't remember it. My brain. Oh no, wait, they didn't play in the wild card round because they were the number 1 seed. That's right. I forgot. I keep on forgetting because the year before they weren't. But yeah, so they didn't play in the wild card round. They only played that. Okay. See, look, that's that in-depth NFL analysis that you get here on Stay Tuned Sports. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Top 12. Me and Jimbo both have the Eagles as our number 1 team going into the NFL season. And it really wasn't a mystery from the start of this, and it shouldn't be now. But there we go. We're going to see how much this list changes as we get to next week when we do the countdown again, and we see how that turns out. All right. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten that out of the way. A couple more things to talk about here before we get to the prediction part. Talking about who we have for Thursday night. The first pick here in the NFL. Again, if you joined our Stay Tuned Sports Friday Forecast Pick'em, go and do that right now. And here, I'll pop that up again. You can go do that right now there, that QR code, or at bit.ly STS Pick'em. And go ahead, put your picks in, and go against us. But right now, that is open, ready for everybody. And we'll see how that goes. A couple other things here. More bad news for the Jets today. And he's like, how? I have a brother who's a Jets fan. And my sister-in-law, Robin, her husband, big Jets fan. Great guy. Love the guy. Shout out to Steve. But the Jets, what I guess some people would say they're only good offensive linemen. But Elijah Vera Tucker, probably going to miss the season. Tore his tricep today in practice. From Florham Park, New Jersey, here just days ahead of the season opener, the New York Jets fear that starting right guard Elijah Vera Tucker suffered a season-ending torn triceps during Tuesday's practice. Vera Tucker is seeking a second opinion to see if season-ending surgery is necessary. The Jets had no comment as of yet, as they had no practice and no media availability today on Wednesday. This is a familiar pattern for Vera Tucker, who has missed extended time in 2 of his 4 seasons because of injuries, including a season-ending triceps injury in 2022. Vera Tucker's latest tricep injury is to the opposite arm from the one that he injured in 2022. The Jets were counting on Vera Tucker, perhaps their best overall lineman, which I had just mentioned, to ease the transition for rookie right tackle Armand Membu. And, of course, again, it goes on about the Jets and all that stuff. But this is something else I think we've mentioned on this show a couple of times. A little bit in Discord, mentioned some of it on Twitter. Like, it's a discussion we've had, and it's one of those conspiracy theory things that you kind of float about. But someone needs to go and find the crossroad demon that Joe Namath made a deal with all those years ago. 57 years ago now? To go ahead and win Super Bowl III. And to get all the bitches because he's ugly as shit, but meanwhile he was fucking supermodels. Someone needs to go and find that particular crossroad demon, especially if you're a Jets fan. Bring a lawyer with you and see if you can find a way to get some loophole to get out of that particular contract. Because I can't seem to think of anything else that... It's every year. It's every year with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, savior of the Jets. He's going to come out, carries the American flag. This is, man, Jet fans excited, super excited for the first time in 14 years since they had gone to the AFC Championship game with Rex Ryan and that great defense they had with Bart Scott and, Mark Sanchez is not fucking everything up yet before the butt fumble. This was first time in a long time Jet fans got excited. And 4 plays in, he tears his Achilles. He's done for the year. Jets just give up. I could think back 25 years ago, 2000 season. Jets were getting really excited. They had just come off an AFC Championship game appearance against the Broncos. We're leading at halftime of the AFC Championship game. Broncos came back and won that. But it's like they had most of that team together still. Exciting going into the year 2000. This was going to be it. And much the same thing happened. Vinny Testaverde, a couple plays in, tears his Achilles, done for the year. That season, I think they had to go. They had like Tom Tupa ended up playing quarterback for some of them there. It always seems like there's something with the Jets. They played in the AFC Championship game against the Dolphins in the 80s. What was that, 84? And there was a massive rainstorm down in Miami. The Dolphins left the tarp off of the field there. I think they were still playing at the Orange Bowl at the time. The field became muddy. And the Dolphins ended up winning, I think, what was it, 7-0 or 14-7? It was a real sloppy game. Nobody got any traction, but the Dolphins were able to just eke it out because the Jets, I guess they didn't have that much of a running game, I guess, at that point. So it was, like, I look at things like that. Well, they did have a running game, but, they had Ken O'Brien, I think, as quarterback. So it was like, meanwhile, the Dolphins had Marino. They were able to get there. Either way, it's always these little things, little tiny things, just whether when the Jets are good, something goes wrong, but the Jets are bad, then it goes really bad. No matter what it is, the Jets are cursed. And I usually don't believe in sports curses. I don't believe any of that shit. Like the Cubs had the curse of the Billy Goat, didn't believe it. The Lions had the curse of Bobby Lane, although Peyton Manning, I think, might have broken a curse with that on his Peyton Placer show. That might have happened. I don't know. So I'm not a big curses guy or things like that, but boy, does it seem like the Jets are fucking cursed. It seems like they are, like, more so than the Browns, more so than the Lions ever were, more so than like any of these other bad teams that you could think of. The Jets seemed legitimately cursed by the deepest, darkest realms of hell. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Joe Namath made a deal with some kind of demon or satanic entity from, one of the levels of hell. They're at a crossroads in Florida, in Miami, before the Super Bowl happened. That's why he was able to make his guarantee. Everybody's like, oh, Joe Namath, he's so cocky. He made his guarantee. He knew he was going to win. He had the power of the Dark Lord Satan on his side, ready to go. That's why. That's what happened. If we're going to be honest with each other. And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but explain it. Someone explain the New York fucking Jets to me. Outside of supernatural intervention, like, how does this keep on happening to this fucking team? I don't get it. To me, got to be satanic witchcraft. And it all starts with Joe Namath. At least that's what I think. Hamster in the chat, he says, you guys need to go live a little early tomorrow. We need a little pregame show. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do. I'm going to see what Jimbo, of course, I think Jimbo's going to be amped. Obviously, his Eagles starting the season. And raising a banner, doing all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Maybe we'll go a little bit early. Have a little Q&A session maybe before the game. We'll do all that. And this was something else that Hamster had brought up because he said he was betting on the Cowboy and Eagle game tomorrow, and he's actually putting money on the Cowboys at 8.5. Again, this is from ESPN. The NFL opener regularly turns into one of the most heavily bet regular season games of the entire year. And tomorrow's game is no exception. By the time the last bet is placed on Thursday's opener, gambling experts estimate that hundreds of millions of dollars will be on the line across the nation with just U.S. sportsbooks, not including how much is in play with the daily fantasy sites, prediction markets, offshore sportsbooks, and with local bookmakers, those guys. The excitement of football returning really reignites bettors, says Joe Fiesel. Joey Fiesel, who oversees football odds at Caesars Sportsbook, adding that the company nearly tripled the betting options for football in preparation for the NFL season. Eagles-Cowboys is lining up to be the biggest bet game of the opening week thus far, and we would expect it to lead us in handle as we go through the season. Can't read. In 2024, only the Super Bowl and 2 conference championship games attracted more money from bettors than the season opener did, which last season was the Ravens and the Chiefs. So, big money on a game, as we saw. Hamster in the chat saying is anybody out there betting on it? I'm not sure if I'm going to, because it just, if anything, I would be putting money mostly on Eagles stuff, and I can look at maybe some of the prop bets and look at more of the statistical bets there. But I don't know. ELS in the chat, thanks for joining us, brother. I don't know if I'm going to put money on it. First of all, I don't have any money. Like I keep on saying, I got 17 cents in my account. So, but if I could, I think I might have some residual left over in my FanDuel account. Not sponsored, although you could be FanDuel. You could be. You can get the whole 7 viewers we got, buddy. Come on, FanDuel. Yeah. So, is anybody out there? Anybody in the chat? Are you betting on this game? If you are, what are you doing? As we saw, Hamster, he's betting on the Cowboys with the spread, with the plus 8.5. And again, they have the alternate spreads out there too, so that might help with your odds. Maybe if you think the Eagles are going to blow them out, go with the alternate spreads. Raise the odds. Maybe you get a little something there. I don't know. But again, I'm not sure if I'm going to bet on it, but we'll see. Is there any other NFL news that I really want to tackle before we get to close to the end here? I'm not sure. As I look at it, this one actually, this was ELS says no, not betting. Okay, so ELS is not going to be a bettor there. ELS, he's getting excited because his Packers at 4:25 Eastern time will be taking on the Lions on Sunday, and we'll be doing that game right here on Stay Tuned Sports. Obviously, it's the Micah Parsons game, his first game with the Packers. Of course, we were going to have to do that. We have a whole slate coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to love it. It's going to be fun. Just watch me and Jimbo comment stupidly on football games as you watch along. It's great. Hamster says, I'm not going to bet much until like week 3, but week 1, I'm going to put a little bit, just a little sprinkle. You're just putting a little sprinkle, Hamster is, on all these games. The NFLPA's interim boss came out and said that an 18-game regular season is not inevitable. I happen to disagree with that because anybody who's been paying attention to the NFL knows that is coming. That is coming. But yes, this, of course, again, from ESPN. David White, the interim executive director of the NFLPA, told the AP that he hasn't had any conversations with the league about expanding the length of the regular season, which increased to 17 games in 2021. Well, he just got there. So, and the NFLPA's got its own bunch of problems. Maybe, why don't you start off by looking into the whole Michael Parsons, Jerry Jones shit, first of all, here, NFLPA. White said he's had productive meetings with the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, in New York a couple weeks ago, calling it a very good start to our relationship, and added they have agreed to an open and respectful line of communication. The league has the right to bring any issue they want to the table and presumably to propose what they're willing to give to receive what they want in negotiation, but we'll see when that happens. White said in an exclusive 45-minute interview with the AP that covered various topics. We haven't talked about it yet, and it certainly is not inevitable and should not be presented as such. Expanding the season requires the two sides to renegotiate the current NFL collective bargaining agreement, which expires in March of 2031. As the NFL season gets set to kick off on Thursday night in Philadelphia with the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles and Cowboys, White is traveling to different cities to meet with teams and communicate directly with players. Here's my take on this. It's going to happen. However it gets done, whatever concessions are going to be made, whether they completely cut out preseason games or only have one or whatever it is, or, they get to, smack each other with bubble wrap and practice, and that's what they get. That's going to be the extent of practice, or no pads practice, or whatever it is. they're going to find. I would imagine it's probably going to be some kind of altered or adjusted revenue sharing with the players, so they get a little bit more of the cut or do something like that. Lloyd in the chat, what's up, brother? Good to see you there. But the new NFLPA interim president saying that it's not inevitable. It's not a given. There's going to be 18. It's going to be 18 games, folks. I hate to tell you that. There's going to be 18 games. Just like when ESPN and Disney bought NFL Network and the Red Zone Channel and all that, and everybody was like, don't worry about it. Maybe there's not going to be commercials. And we just found out today through the man himself, Scott Hansen, on the Pat McAfee show, saying that the 7 hours of commercial-free football begins now is dead. It's gone. No more commercial-free football there on Red Zone. You're going to get commercials. Whether it's the LRAP, which they were doing last year anyway, so if it's the LRAP, it is what it is. But if they do like full-on interruptions for commercial ads or do a side-by-side screen for ads, the commercial-free Red Zone is dead. A lot of people upset by it. Twitter has been ablaze about it, and it's hard to argue that. It is kind of funny that on the same day that they announced that Red Zone is going to have commercials, that for some mysterious reason they finally took down Stream East, the big bad sports illegal streaming area. They arrested 2 Egyptians, I think, in Egypt. I don't know. But yeah. So was it in Egypt or here? I think it just said 2 Egyptians. So I don't know if it was in Egypt where they were based that they were doing it, or if it was here and they were just Egyptians. I have no idea. But either way, they said Stream East is down. Kind of funny that they announced that. And the same day they say, well, Stream East is down, so you want to do illegal streaming, you can't do that. But yeah, we're also going to have commercials on it. Go fuck yourselves. It's a sad day. And also, listen, I'm not a big Scott Hansen guy anyway. Andrew Siciliano should be the guy who does Red Zone. Maybe it's because, my dad had DirecTV back in the day, and that's kind of that was my first introduction to Red Zone, was Siciliano. I think Siciliano was always better. Lloyd in the chat says, How are you, King? Man, I got too much coffee in me. How are you, King? I'm doing all right, Lloyd. We're all right. Listen. Football Eve, baby. It's Football Eve. Tomorrow it begins. How can you not be excited? How can you not have the tingles? Knowing that this time tomorrow we are all going to be getting ready. Getting our drinks prepared, if you're into that sort of thing. Getting food ready, little snacks, if you will. We're all just going to be cozying up and getting ready to turn on NBC and to watch what is most likely going to be a fucking murder on television. Let's just be honest. And that's it, hamster. You started this countdown long before. I think we're at like 160 days you started counting us down. And now here we are, as you're mentioning, 26 and a half hours. That's it, man. That's it. We went from months to weeks to days, and now we're at hours. Soon it'll be minutes, and then we'll just be on here doing what we love to do best, making dumb comments while watching the game together, hanging out, and just having a good time. And that's what it's all about here at Stay Tuned Sports when we watch along with all the games. Like, yes, we do a little bit of play-by-play. We try to do everything like that. I love having all that stuff with you. But it's really about the interaction and just me and Jimbo basically being Mystery Science Theater for football. That's the fun of it. That's really the fun of it. And I can't thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough for joining us here and for being supportive. Everybody in the chat, everybody who's ever subscribed, which, by the way, if you're watching us right now and you like any of this rambling nonsense from myself, please give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Helps us out tremendously. Hit that notification bell. Let you know when we go live. Again, the slate begins tomorrow. We have the Cowboys and Eagles. Then on Friday, we are doing the Chiefs and Chargers from Brazil. Then Saturday, might do college football. We'll see. But this is about pro football, ladies and gentlemen. And Sunday, we start off with the Giants and Redskins. at 1 o'clock. At 4:25, we will be doing the Packers and the Lions from Lambeau Field. Then, of course, Sunday Night Football, Ravens, Bills. What a matchup! What an amazing matchup there for Sunday Night Football. And then Monday night, we'll close it all out with the Vikings and the Bears. Full slate right here on Stay Tuned Sports. I certainly hope you join us. I know there's a lot of people going to be watching Tom Grassi because he's going to have like the actual NFL feed to do it with. Must be nice to have almost 1 million subscribers and be able to do that. And when you're one of the top NFL people, maybe we'll get there one day. Probably not, but it is still fun. And hey, listen, congratulations to Tom. It's, we're not. I don't want people to get the wrong idea and think that, like, oh, I'm fucking pissed because he's so good. He gets the NFL stuff. He's good for a reason. Let's just put it out there. He's consistent, puts out great content. We still got to get to that point. We still got to get first. We got to get consistent. Then we actually got to put out like actual content. That'll be another thing. But yeah, again, I don't want people to get it fucking twisted. There's no hate for Tom Grassi here. We love Tom Grassi. He does great. He had his Grassi posse in here a lot of people in this chat, believe it or not, came from the Grassi posse and saw us there to begin with. So again, there's nothing but love for Tom. And Brandon Perner as well. I love Brandon Perner. And all that and all they do. If you hadn't seen that, the NFL's doing it. I think it's iShowSpeed is doing one. Grassi's doing one. This is for the YouTube game on Friday. So you have iShowSpeed, Grassi. I think is Mr. Beast doing one of them too. I'm not sure. But Tom's one of them that gets to do that now. At least for that game. At least for the YouTube game on Friday. I don't know if it's for the whole season. I don't know if it's for all of it. But at least for that one, he's going to be able to do that. So, interesting. And again, fucking kudos, man. You know what I mean? Like the guy, he started almost 10 years ago, and to get to this point to where you've been NFL Fan of the Year. You got to announce something at the NFL Awards. You got to announce a draft pick at the draft. You got to that's cool shit, man. I think it's something that we all aspire to. So people who are out there maybe get upset with it or something. Like, how do you get upset at that? Like the guy, way to go, Tom. And plus, I think he just bought, with all the success that he's had on YouTube, he bought a new house out in Wisconsin and moved from New York to Wisconsin to be closer to his beloved Packers. But yeah, like that's, dude, if I could get successful enough on YouTube to buy a bottle of Jägermeister, I'll be fucking happy. Let alone buy a fucking house, all right? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, kudos to fucking, to Tom Grassi and all that. And again, hopefully Brandon because Brandon Perner's not too far behind him either as far as it comes to subscribers. So maybe Brandon Perner gets to do that too. I doubt the NFL will though, because he likes to curse like I do. So we're never gonna get there. We're never gonna. I don't think me and Brandon Perner are ever gonna have to worry about being officially licensed by the NFL. ELS in the chat giving us a little more information. YouTubers will be involved in the NFL game for Brazil on September 5th with the Watch With feature, allowing creators like iShowSpeed, Tom Grassi, Rob Grill. I never heard of that. And Scabajat. I don't know half those other. I don't know. I don't know the other two fucking people. I only know iShowSpeed because of fucking WWE. I've watched nobody on that list other than Tom Grassi, to be honest with you. Hamster in the chat, he says, I don't know who any of those people are. LOL. Maybe I'm old. I know I am old, but I still watch YouTube a bunch. And like I said, outside of Grassi, I know iShowSpeed because he did a couple of WWE things. But the other two, no fucking idea. No idea who those fucking people are. So, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, good for him. And so we'll see. We'll see how many people we have watching us on Friday night. Probably not a lot. Because they'll be watching one of those 4 people, mostly Tom Grassi, I would imagine. But yeah, you know what? I think that's about it. I think I've done pretty well here. I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the 2025 NFL season, which officially starts tomorrow. But we got to make a pick. We have to make a pick now. so that we can't come back Friday and say like, oh, during Friday forecast and be like, oh my God. But by the way, Friday forecast will be coming on Friday. You're going to get 2 live shows. Getting 2 live shows on Friday. Getting a prediction show, Friday forecast, which you can go ahead and pick against me, Jimbo, and the STS community if you want to. All you have to do is go over to this address and that QR code if you want to go ahead and do that. The Friday forecast, pick 'em. Me, Jimbo, and all your favorite chat room people. ELS is in there. Hamster's in there. I believe Lloyd is in there as well. We got a lot of people in there. Come join us and pick against us. See who is the best at prognosticating in the Stay Tuned Sports universe. bit.ly/STS Pick'em. bit.ly/STS Pick'em. Or like I said, just scan the QR code there and join us to go ahead and pick against everybody in the Stay Tuned Sports community, including me and Jimbo. Ooh. Got to get it out now. Get it out now before the game starts, before it all starts. ELS, he says, King, do you want to see the new foods at Lambeau Field? Oh, speaking of which, did you see Baltimore kind of jumping on the Atlanta bandwagon? They now have a menu that is it's a Five Below menu, basically, where you can get hot dogs, I think it is a chicken sandwich or something, beer, pretzels, things like that. Everything is under $5, and it's got several meals on there. This needs to be a trend that catches on. Atlanta started it with Arthur Blank and everybody down there, making sure all the concessions were of a reasonable price. Like, you're not spending $17 on a beer. You're not spending $14 on a hot dog. You're not doing any of that nonsense. Everything is within a legitimate price range for people. Baltimore has now jumped on that. I'm hoping more of that changes. But we'll see. Let's see. ELS showing me, what do we got here? Let me visit this site here. Lambeau Field unveils new menu items with brachos and brat egg. Oh boy. I would be fat and comatose and dead with my diabetes. But listen, if you want to die of diabetes, you go to Wisconsin. Fans will have new flavors to tackle at Lambeau Field this season. The Green Bay Packers and food and beverage partner Delaware North held a tasting event Wednesday to unveil new concession items for the season. New concession items include loaded big pretzel for $20. It's a Bavarian big pretzel, sharp cheddar cheese sauce, crumbled brats, fried sauerkraut, beer cheese mustard sauce, beer mustard. I don't know why. Oh, I just got an ad thing. That sucks. And beer mustard, all available at the Johnsonville Tailgate Village. The Bracho for $12. Tater tots, Southwest brat coins, corn pico, beer cheese, sour cream, guacamole, green onions. And that'll be available in sections 134 and 340M. Green and gold barbecue chicken, golden chicken homemade pickles, King's Hawaiian roll, coleslaw, barbecue pull apart, which is, again, King's Hawaiian roll, barbecue pulled pork, sweet and spicy pickles, tenderloin sandwich, brat with sauerkraut slaw, summer sausage, brat egg rolls, crumbled brats, green and gold fajita mix, I'm sorry, I misread that. Just cheese curds. If there were green cheese curds, that'd be a problem. Cream cheese also added in that as well. They got a meatball sub, Italian sub. You can get a bento box of beef or chicken, fried rice, kimchi, cucumber salad, egg rolls, and a custom fortune cookie. And, of course, wings. You get cheesy nuggets and Sarah's artisanal gelato cups. I got to say, probably the brat egg rolls and that loaded big Bavarian pretzel are probably the big. Those are the big ones for me. Those are the big ones for me. Like, I'm down with that. I can definitely I can fuck with that. Why is this good? Stop. My chat's screwing up. There we go. Well, we'll just fix that and do that. So, yeah, there we go. That's tasty. But, again, everything's so fucking expensive. Everything's $20, $25, $12. If you just want to get a brat, a regular brat is $12. Hey, Lambo. How about you follow the steps that Atlanta and Baltimore and everybody does? Let's make that a little cheaper. Hamster says, I'm not hating, but I bet Lambeau is a miserable place to watch a game. Still got the bleacher seats instead of the individual seats. I think the atmosphere, the aura of the place kind of takes that away. I think as long as you're able to bring in ELS, you'll have to let me know this. I'm not sure. Are you able to bring in one of those seat things? Like a lot of people have the seat cushions that have the back on it. You're able to kind of just do that. If you're able to do that, then that's fine. I think that's fine. And even so, I think some people are fine with that. And I know in some of the renovated areas, they actually did put in the individual seats. So they have that. But the majority of the bowl there at Lambeau is indeed still the bleachers. But I think that's part of the ambiance of Lambeau Field. And I think that's what you're really paying for there. It can be. I'm sure in winter it's not great. Slamming your ass down on a cold aluminum bleacher, probably not fantastic. I'm trying. I don't know where the chat was going with here. These guys. Hamster's just trying to shit on Lambeau here. He's like, I've been to hundreds of college football games. It's crazier than anything Lambeau offers. I honestly think Hamster's just trying to push ELS's buttons. ELS, don't ban him. Just. I love Hamster. He's fantastic. Anyway, like I was saying before I had the ADHD happen. Picks. Got to do the picks. Thursday night. It's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Cowboys traveling up. Lincoln Financial Field. Philadelphia Eagles. Banner night. Nick Sirianni says nobody's going to watch. Saquon says, I might take a peek. Either way, Eagles are both mine and Jimbo's number one power rank team going into the 2025 season. The Cowboys are not in our top 12. Not there. Not in the booty cheeks, but they're not in the top 12. They may end up in the booty cheeks at some point during the season, if we're going to be honest. I think it's fairly obvious where we're going to have to pick in this game. I don't see a way the Cowboys win this game. Offensively, they don't have a running game. Their offensive line is not great. Yeah, they have CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, they have Dak Prescott. But when that's really all you got, and some people are going to say, well, they got George Pickens too. Pittsburgh, who I think is in desperate need of offensive output, seemed okay with letting him go. Does that say anything? Again, the Cowboys were willing to let Micah go, so does that? Oh, well, that must mean they don't think Mike is good. I think there's a difference there, though. But I just don't see how. Now, again, I could say all this, and the Cowboys end up pulling off an upset, but I mean, if we look at everybody, if the Cowboys win, it will be an upset, but I think the staunchest of Cowboys fans will have picked them in this game, because I think there's some Cowboys fans that are picking the Eagles just out of spite because the Cowboys let Micah go, and they're just like, well, fuck it, we're gonna suck. But I think most people, outside of the staunchest of staunch Cowboys fans, are picking the Eagles, and I think that's just the smart football play. So I myself. Again, I hate both these fucking teams, being a Giants fan, but in this instance, home team, banner night, and the other team just traded away what is ostensibly their best player. It's got to be the Eagles. And of course, when it comes to our good friend Jimbo, the Eagles fan, boy, if he picked the Cowboys, that would be fucking stupid. He's not going to pick the Cowboys. We know that. Jimbo, of course, is picking the Eagles as well. And, of course, this would be the time when he starts singing Fly, Eagles, Fly again. Thank God he's not on the show, so I don't have to hear that nonsense. But I'm sure we'll hear it a lot tomorrow when me and Jimbo go ahead and broadcast the NFL kickoff for the 2025 season, Cowboys versus Eagles. You'll find that live right here, 8 p.m. on your YouTube dial, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be great. Hamster in the chat says, I hate the Cowboys, but I think they can get them. I picked them. Dak was out last year. Lloyd says, I picked the Cowboys. Now, here, Hamster, you saying you picked the Cowboys. Are you picking them to win outright, or are you picking them with the spread? Now, again, I know you're in our Pick'em League, so, I mean, we'll find out sooner or later. But if you're going to pick picking the Cowboys outright, that's a bold move. And same for Lloyd, too. Listen. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for you. I don't know. Me personally, I don't know if that's going to work. But as for mine and Jimbo's official picks, the official picks that we have in there, we have the Eagles over the Cowboys. Lloyd says you should know I'm full of shit. I don't know. I got to tell you, if you're picking the Cowboys, you're ballsy. You're ballsy. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the official picks, I am on the Eagles. Jimbo is on the Eagles. And we will find out tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, when it all kicks off right here. So I cannot wait to see you guys then. Of course, don't forget, we have live football tomorrow, 8 p.m. right here. Then on Friday, we have the Friday forecast where we will pick the rest of the weekend's games. Then, of course, tomorrow night, after the Friday forecast, we've got Chiefs-Chargers from Brazil. And then after that, we have the full Sunday slate ready for you right here. I know Hamster, he's going to be at the Falcons game. Enjoy that game, brother. That's going to be fun. I'm going to give you a little hint right now, picking the Buccaneers in that game. But never doubt the big Penix energy that they have down there at the Butthole Dome. When you get that Penix in the butthole, you never know what's going to happen. Until all that kicks off, though, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked any part of this show, and why would you, when it's just me talking to myself and to our good friends there in the chat, if you liked any part, please like, share, subscribe. Helps us out tremendously. Hit that notification bell, let you know whenever we go live. Of course, if you want to help the show out a little bit more financially, fiduciarily, cash money-wise, you can go ahead and donate. We have our donation station link in the description below this video right here. Also, we have a merch store down there. By the way, also vote for my nephew to be Youth Athlete of the Year. That voting link is down there as well. And our Discord link. Come on in there, say hey, say whatever you want. You can go in, talk to all of us in there. Hamster's in there, Lloyd's in there. Obviously, me and Jimbo are in there. ELS is in there. Is Pecan in there? Pecan, we got to get Pecan in there. I think Chip, we got to get Chip in there. We got to get a lot of other people in there. But it's getting a little more active, getting a little more lively, and you can be a part of that. So go ahead and get into our Discord. Get into it deep. Get deep in my Discord, baby. Yeah, that's what to expect, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are here. But until tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, when we just kick off football. I know I've said this for the last 2.5 months now with every single episode that we've done, but we made it. We made it. We're here. Happy Football Eve, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you tomorrow for Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. We'll see you then. Adios.